All right, so have you ever been, like, so annoyed
Oh, yeah.
you just had to call someone out?
Oh, totally.
Well, that's exactly what this rising star Chappell Roan did on the
Uh-huh.
red carpet recently. And
Yeah,
it's got everyone talking about how celebrities are treated these days,
for sure, especially.
especially in the age of social media.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's do a deep dive into all this.
Okay, cool.
So for anyone out there who maybe hasn't heard of Chappell Roan yet,
Mm.
um, she's got this really unique style. It's like
Yeah.
pop, but with a really cool, edgy vibe.
Yeah, yeah.
And her new album, Good Luck, Babe,
Right.
is making some serious waves.
I love that album.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's great.
So picture this.
Okay.
She's at the premiere of the Olivia Rodrigo GTS World Tour concert film.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all smiles for the cameras.
All right.
And then she spots this photographer.
Oh, this is where it gets good.
Okay, tell me.
So most artists, on a red carpet, they're all about posing,
Oh, yeah.
working it for the cameras. But Roan, she just stops,
Huh.
points right at this photographer,
No way.
and basically says, "You were incredibly disrespectful to me at the Grammys.
Oh, my God.
You yell at me, and I deserve an apology right here, right now."
Whoa.
Yeah.
I bet you could just, like, feel the tension after that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, what do you think even prompted her to do that?
Yeah.
Like, confront him so publicly?
It seems like it was something that had been weighing on her.
Okay.
She actually hasn't shared too many specifics about what happened at the Grammys,
Right.
but it obviously impacted her deeply.
Yeah.
To call him out like that months later on a red carpet
Right.
suggests it really bothered her.
Yeah, you have to admire her courage, though,
Oh, absolutely.
to risk a scene like that.
Totally.
Potentially even bad press.
Yeah, it's a really powerful statement.
Yeah.
And I think it reflects this broader shift that we're seeing
interesting.
with younger celebrities.
Okay.
They're just less willing to put up with bad behavior just because it comes from someone with perceived power, like a photographer.
It's like they're rewriting the rules of how this all works.
Totally. Yeah.
And it's not even just limited to, like, interactions with the media.
Right.
Roan's been super open about dealing with, like, over-enthusiastic fans, too.
That's a good point. This incident with the photographer is just one example
Yeah.
of how she's actively setting boundaries,
Mm-hmm.
in her career and personal life.
Totally.
She's talked about fans making her uncomfortable with their behavior, calling some of their actions weird, even.
Wow.
It really highlights this complex issue
Yeah.
that social media has amplified
Right.
the blurring of lines
Totally.
between a celebrity's public image and their private life.
It's like, just because someone is famous,
Yeah.
does that mean they automatically give up
Right.
their right to, like, personal space and boundaries?
Exactly. And it seems like Roan is really pushing back against that expectation.
Yeah, so this whole thing really makes you wonder, like, how do we as a culture even define what's acceptable
Mm-hmm.
towards celebrities?
Yeah.
Especially when everyone has a camera and an opinion these days.
It's a good question.
But before we go too far down that road,
Okay.
let's back up a bit.
Yeah.
For those who might be new to the Chappell Roan fan club,
Uh-huh.
she hasn't always been in the spotlight.
Right.
So what's her story?
Well, she's been working hard at her music career for a while now.
Right.
Super talented singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
But breaking through in the music industry is tough.
Oh, I bet.
It's a crowded field.
Yeah,
It takes a lot more than just talent to stand out.
for sure. It's got to be a constant hustle
Oh, yeah.
to get your music heard.
Absolutely. And Roan herself has spoken about this.
Oh, really?
The frustration of feeling like she's been putting in the work for years,
Uh-huh.
but people are only just now starting to pay attention.
Yeah, I read this interview she did with Rolling Stone
Yeah.
where she said something like, "It's infuriating how people are just now taking me seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what? I've been doing this for ages and you're just now catching up."
Right. There's that boldness again.
Mm-hmm.
But her words also reflect a truth about the music business.
Yeah.
There's often this lag
Yeah.
between when an artist is honing their craft
Okay.
and when they achieve that mainstream recognition.
It makes her success even more impressive.
Oh, totally.
She's been grinding away, staying true to herself.
Yeah.
And now she's finally getting the recognition
Mhm.
that she deserves.
It's a testament to her talent,
Yeah.
her perseverance,
Uh-huh.
and I'd argue her willingness to speak her mind
Definitely.
and set boundaries.
Yeah,
Those qualities seem to be resonating with audiences.
absolutely. But speaking of speaking her mind,
Oh, yeah.
this wasn't actually the first time Roan publicly called out a photographer.
Right.
Remember that incident at the VMAs?
Oh, yeah, at the VMAs where the photographer told her to shut the F up, and she
Yeah.
fired right back.
Uh-huh. It's not every day you see a celeb like clap back like that,
Yeah.
especially on a red carpet.
Not at all.
But it's interesting, both of these incidents,
Yeah.
the VMAs and this recent one at the Olivia Rodrigo premiere, they both involve photographers.
Right.
Do you think there's something about that dynamic that makes her feel like she needs to push back?
It's a great observation.
Yeah.
Red carpets are, like, notoriously chaotic.
Oh, yeah.
And photographers are always, vying for the best shot.
For sure.
Sometimes they resort to, like, aggressive tactics to get a reaction.
Yeah.
It's not an excuse for rude behavior, of course.
Right.
But it's worth considering the context.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But it also kind of makes you wonder, like, why are photographers getting away with this kind of behavior
Right.
in the first place?
It really speaks to the power dynamics at play.
Yeah.
Photographers hold a certain level of power on red carpets. They're the ones capturing the images that'll be, like, splashed across magazines and websites.
So celebrities, especially those who are up and coming,
Yeah.
might feel pressured to cooperate,
Right.
even if they're being treated poorly.
It's like a double bind that she needs the exposure,
Right.
but she's also not willing to tolerate the disrespect.
Totally. It takes courage to stand up for yourself in that environment.
For sure. And it's important to acknowledge, like, the repercussions, too.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? For speaking out.
Absolutely.
The industry can be so quick to label women, especially young women, as difficult
Goodly.
if they don't conform
Right.
to certain expectations.
It's so frustrating.
Ugh. I know an assertive man is seen as confident and powerful,
Yeah.
but a woman is, like, aggressive or a diva.
Exactly. So it's like, they can't win.
It's a harmful bias, and it's unfortunate that it's still so persistent.
Yeah. And it's something that Roan seems to be actively challenging through her actions,
Yeah.
by setting boundaries and speaking her mind.
She's sending this powerful message that she won't be silenced or treated with disrespect, regardless of the consequences.
And that message is resonating
Oh, yeah.
with a lot of people,
Totally.
especially young women who are tired of being told to just, like, smile and be nice
Right.
when they're being mistreated.
Exactly. It's a sign of the times.
Yeah.
We're seeing more and more people, especially from younger generations,
Yeah.
pushing back against outdated norms
Told
and demanding respect.
And that shift is happening everywhere,
Yeah,
not just in entertainment.
for sure.
It's really inspiring to see someone like Roan using her platform to advocate for herself and others.
Yeah. It's a reminder that we all have the power
Yeah.
to set boundaries and speak up when we're treated unfairly.
But let's shift gears for a second.
Okay.
Go back to the Grammys incident.
Yeah.
We know she called the photographer out for being disrespectful, but we don't know the specifics of what happened.
Right. It seems like it was a private interaction,
Yeah.
not something that, like, happened while he was taking pictures, for a publication.
Right.
She hasn't really elaborated on it,
Yeah.
but it clearly left a lasting impression.
I'm curious, how common is this kind of behavior?
Yeah.
Like for photographers to be rude to celebrities at these events?
It's hard to say for certain how prevalent it is
Yeah.
because a lot of it happens behind the scenes.
Right.
But it's not uncommon to hear stories of photographers being pushy,
Right.
even aggressive
Yeah.
in their pursuit of the shot.
So there's a good chance Roan isn't the only one
Yeah.
who's had a negative encounter with this guy.
That's definitely possible.
Yeah.
And her speaking out could even empower others
Right.
to come forward with their own experiences.
It could be a real catalyst for change in the industry.
Totally.
But I'm also wondering, why didn't she address it back then, at the Grammys?
Yeah.
Why wait months to call him out?
That's a great question, and it gets back to those power dynamics. When this happened at the Grammys,
Yeah.
Roan was still relatively unknown.
Right.
She might have felt pressured to stay silent
Okay.
for fear of jeopardizing her career.
Right. Speaking out against someone with more influence
Yeah,
could totally backfire.
exactly. It takes a certain level of confidence and security to publicly confront someone like that,
Yeah.
especially in an industry as competitive as music.
So it makes her decision to confront him now even more impactful.
Oh, for sure.
Like, she's reached a point in her career where she feels secure enough to speak her truth,
Right.
regardless of the fallout.
And that's a powerful statement in itself.
Yeah.
It suggests that she's prioritizing her own well-being and values
Right.
over the potential risks.
It's a good reminder that sometimes the most courageous thing you can do is stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
even when it's uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
It can be a real catalyst for change. So we've talked a lot about the incidents with photographers.
Yeah.
But this theme of boundaries extends to her relationship with her fans, too.
Right.
She's mentioned feeling uncomfortable with some of their behavior, which raises a whole other set of questions about the expectations placed on celebrities.
Yeah, in the age of social media.
Right.
You're right. This is another crucial aspect of her approach to fame.
Yeah.
It speaks to the complexities of celebrity in the digital age,
Okay.
where fans feel increasingly entitled to access and interaction.
Right. Let's unpack that a bit further.
Yeah, let's do it.
So she's mentioned these weird things that fans do.
Yeah.
Do we have any specific examples? Like, what kind of behavior is she talking about?
She hasn't gone into a ton of detail publicly.
Right.
But she's mentioned things like fans showing up at her house.
Oh, wow.
Trying to contact her through like personal channels and just generally overstepping boundaries.
Yeah.
That would make anyone uncomfortable.
It's a shame that she's had to deal with that. You know, it's like a good reminder that even though celebs choose to live these public lives,
right,
they still deserve basic privacy and respect.
Totally. It's not an open invitation to invade their personal space.
Exactly. And it's tough.
Yeah.
Because artists do want to connect with their fans.
For sure.
Especially now with social media. It's such a huge part of building a fan base.
Right. But where do you draw the line?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a tough one.
It seems like Roan's still figuring that out.
Yeah.
You know, she wants to engage with her fans,
right,
but also protect herself.
Yeah, it's a balancing act.
It is. And I think a lot of celebs are struggling with this.
Oh, absolutely. It speaks to this larger cultural shift, don't you think?
Oh, totally.
Social media has created this expectation of constant access and immediacy.
Yeah.
Fans feel like they have this direct line to their favorite artists, and that can really blur the lines.
For sure.
Between admiration and entitlement.
Yeah, we've lost sight of the fact that these are real people. With real lives and emotions.
Exactly.
It's like just because you love someone's music doesn't mean you can intrude on their life.
It's a conversation we need to be having more openly. Yeah. Both within the industry and just as a society.
For sure.
You know, how do we foster healthy relationships between artists and fans in this digital age?
Yeah, it's about finding that balance.
Totally.
Between appreciation and respect.
Absolutely.
So circling back to Chappell Roan.
Yeah.
It seems like she's taking a stand, not just for herself, but for other artists, too, who might be struggling with similar issues.
Yeah, her willingness to speak out could be huge.
It could be a real game changer.
I agree. It's so refreshing to see a young artist who is so unapologetically herself, boundaries and all.
Right.
It sets a precedent for others to do the same.
Yeah, and it's a good reminder that it's okay to say no. You know, prioritize your own well-being.
For sure.
And to demand respect.
It's about reclaiming your power.
Totally.
Defining your own terms.
Yeah, and in a world where women are often silenced or dismissed, her boldness is so inspiring.
Absolutely.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
Chappell Roan's background, her rise to fame,
and
her approach to setting boundaries. Any final thoughts?
I think the biggest takeaway is that Chappell Roan is an artist to watch.
Yeah.
Not just for her music.
Right.
But for how she's navigating fame in this digital age. She's a reminder that it's okay to be assertive.
Yeah.
Prioritize your well-being and demand respect. And that message goes way beyond entertainment.
Absolutely. It's a message that we can all learn from.
For sure.
So to our listeners, we leave you with this.
Okay.
How can you take inspiration from her example? And set healthier boundaries in your own life?
That's a good one.
That's a question worth thinking about.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Yeah. This was great.